Alright, now please exit the freaking stage. All I need to do is kill 2 more of these idiots. That direction. Cool, thanks. Alright, well that was a nightmare.
We're live, by the way.
Great! 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 Great!
What?
Great. How did I end up with an uneven amount of reward after... I have a resource booster. How can you get 5? Make it make sense, Bullet.
What do you mean? What's wrong with it?
Okay, so if you have a resource booster, every time you pick up 1, you get an extra 1, right? So that means it should be physically impossible to have an odd number at the end of a fucking... Goddamn, because it's all in increments of 2. Yet somehow I had 5 Entrati Lanthorns at the end of the mission instead of 6. Make it make sense, Bellet. Alright, what are we playing?
Probably do Wham Friends.
Oh, okay, so...
Do some Wham Friends.
I'll go see what Zur has later, I guess.
I was listening to your woes about the 5 Lanthorns.
At least I've fucking pulled my head out of my ass and started doing Steel Path to farm Lanthorns, because spawn rates are so much better in Steel Path.
Were you able to check with Button if he would be able to grab me the thing for Nyx?
Oh yeah, they should be able to fucking, Bell wants to know if you can have a Nyx alt og.
This will be a very, very short stream. I am extremely tired. And this nerd is also extremely tired.
Yes.
So just a heads up. You might be the only one here right now, TMF, yeah. Because everybody else generally might be asleep right now.
I mean, it's... I don't know, I think Vulcanor will show up.
Vulcanor should be very asleep right now. Are they active?
I don't know. I just get the feeling that Vulcanor and Gearhead will show up.
Gearhead said that they probably won't be able to make it because it's too late. I'm surprised I'm here. I laid back in my chair and almost passed out. I was like, oh, this is comfy. Goodbye. What if we just did book reading tonight? What if I just did a book reading?
Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book.
I could possibly do the next chapter of the book that I made a video on. Yeah, it's almost 1 AM. Yeah. Don't out yourself like that on chat. But yeah, it's pretty late, and I'm also tired. I think we're all tired here.
Then perhaps it's story time.
Maybe story time.
Nyx can 50% speed while using Absorb, but the area is reduced by half. That's the one you want.
I'm so tired.
Yes. was annoying.
I'm tired. Sleep at 4, or if I'm lucky to.
I mean, tomorrow's Saturday.
Sounds like a sheep.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh my god. Okay, I mean... Hold on. Hold on. I'm crying because I'm so tired.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get the book. I'll be back in like a few seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Today is a day. Labor Day is Labor Day.
Unsure where Buck is?
Location unsure. Don't worry, chat.
Book located. Book located. Hold on. Okay, book located. Yes.
Bravo, Charlie. This is Alpha 19er. The book has been located.
I put it in my closet.
Yeah?
It was in my closet on the top shelf on top of another box, so it's like freaking 12 feet in the air.
Understandable.
Let's see. So last time we read this, we read The Closed Window. So today, the next story in this book, this little anthology, would be the story of Beowulf. Okay. Alrighty. Then I'll read this. How many? Oh, it's got chapters, actually.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, essentially each story was a chapter last time. This one has 1, 2... Ooh.
Yeah, the story of Beowulf is, long.
The story of Beowulf is long.
Yes. And strange.
Long and strange, I see. Guess we're in for a weird one. Maybe I should save that one for an actual video. Unsure about that one. I may read Beowulf's story in a completely separate thing. I think... Oh, this one's even longer. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, my. Oh, man, oh, my. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna read this one. This one's a little shorter, but I love the name of it. Alright, so the story's name is The Girl Who Failed to Develop Breasts by Florence Odongo Bull.
Why you gotta out me like that?
Okay. So, the story begins with a widow who lived with her 3 children in a small village at the foot of a hill. Her husband had died, leaving her with very young children. The first 2 children were girls, and the last was a boy. Every day, the woman worked very hard to find food for her children. She felt sad because she did not have the heavy tasks that men usually did. But despite having too much to do, she was happy with the way her children were growing up. In particularly, she was happy with the compliments paid her by villagers about her children's good behavior. Because she did not want her neighbors to think that she had failed as a mother, she had worked extra hard to bring up her children in the right way, and her efforts had paid off. Years passed, and the woman noticed that her daughters were turning into young women, and her son into a young man. This meant that it was only a matter of time before her daughters got married and left home. There were already signs of young men showing interest in the girls, at least in the younger one, and mother and daughters started to share their views about the men. It was during this time that the woman started to notice that family conversations about suitors for girls always made her eldest daughter uncomfortable. She either said nothing or replied with grunts before walking away. One evening, the younger daughter went to bed earlier than usual, leaving her older sister and her mother warming themselves by the fire as they often did after the evening meal. Her mother took this chance to talk to her eldest daughter, who had hardly said a word all evening. "You are up late today," she observed. "I don't feel sleepy yet," her daughter said. "That is unusual for you, considering the hard work we had to do today." The family had spent most of the day in the field harvesting sorghum. "Don't worry about me," her daughter replied. "I'm fine." The conversation ended abruptly as the daughter suddenly said goodnight to her mother and left to go to bed. Days passed, and the mother noticed that her eldest daughter was becoming increasingly withdrawn. All efforts to get meaningful responses from her were unsuccessful, and as a mother, she had a rough idea of what was on her daughter's mind. She was not blind to the fact that her older daughter received less attention from men compared to the younger one. She was aware that although both her daughters were beautiful, her eldest daughter had failed to develop one of the features that men in that part of the world looked for in a woman. Her bust had remained as flat as it was when she was born. At first, her mother had patiently waited, hoping that her daughter's breasts would develop with time, but as years went by, she, like her daughter, started to worry. But she kept her fears to herself. One did not talk about these things, even to one's own daughter. Unfortunately, it soon became clear to her that her daughter's failure to develop breasts was an issue that needed to be addressed. In this case, failure to develop breasts posed several problems. The first problem was purely aesthetic. The older sister felt that, unlike her younger sister, she was not beautiful, and therefore less desirable to men. She held this false belief about herself as true, and this was confirmed by the way men seemed to prefer her younger sister to her. Another problem, equally of the cultural nature as the first one, was to do with the paying of dowry by the bridegroom to the parents of a girl before a girl got married. Traditionally, a girl was not expected to get married before her older sister, but if in rare circumstances the girl got married before the older one, she would do so without any dowry being paid. For this family, it would mean that the brother would find it difficult to get a wife, as boys from poorer families paid dowry using cows they had received as dowry for their sisters. For a widow, this posed a big problem. She had to act fast. Therefore, she decided to discuss the issue with her older daughter. "My child, I have been thinking for a long time about what we can do to help you to develop breasts so that men could find me more desirable," her angry daughter interrupted. "It is not like that, my child," her mother answered, careful not to upset her daughter any more. She knew exactly how her daughter felt, and she felt her daughter's pain as if it was her own. "Men do find you desirable, but they also do want to be sure that the woman they marry will bear them children. Unfortunately, they erroneously equate a large bust with a woman's fertility. Although they are wrong, no one has been able to convince them otherwise. Then in that case, I'm not a woman enough for them," her daughter answered. "I cannot change the way I was made." "There's a way of resolving the problem," her mother said. "There are wise men that have for years been able to help women with even worse problems than yours. I've consulted a witch doctor about it, and if you agree, I can take you to his home so that he can help you." I don't like where this is going.
I mean, just stick with it.
I guess.
Old folk tales are weird.
Old folk tales are weird. Her daughter thought for some time and agreed to try the treatment. The following day they set off very early in the morning and traveled to the village where the witch doctor lived. When they arrived at his house, they found him at home. After listening to Mother's story, the witch doctor remained quiet for some time as if consulting spirits. He then threw a few cowrie shells in the air and allowed them to fall on the goatskin that he had prepared for the purpose. After carefully examining the position of the shells, he spoke for the first time. Your daughter will need a course of medicinal herbs and will be required to stay away from the home for the treatment to work, he announced. Mother and daughter carefully listened to the witch doctor's instructions. Hello, kiddo. Johnny Sims. Oh, no. Oh, God, I know that I need to not read chat while I'm reading these. It is not going to be an easy experience for her, the witch doctor continued to explain. But she must be brave and do as she is told if the issue is to be resolved. I am sure she will do as she is told, the mother answered. The witch doctor explained that the young girl was to be taken to a cave far away from her home, where she would stay for some time until she had developed breasts. Her mother would take food and prescribe medicine to her every day and check on her progress. This was not an easy task for the girl to carry out, but her fear for wild animals was outweighed by her need to develop breasts, so she agreed to go to the cave. Both mother and daughter were aware of the danger posed by this arrangement as they arrived at the cave. How could a young girl protect herself from wild animals left in the cave by herself? The witch doctor did not give any advice on the issue, and it was left to the mother and daughter to decide how to go about it. Sensing her daughter's hesitation, her mother assured her that she would be fine, but her daughter wanted to know how she would know that it was her mother visiting her at the cave and not somebody else. I am going to sing a song now. You must always hear me sing this song before you remove the stone blocking the entrance to the cave, her mother warned her. She then sang the song to her daughter, who confirmed that she was happy with the arrangement. Her mother, confident that everything was going to plan, said goodbye and left. The following day, she took the medicine to her daughter and sang the song as promised. My poor child must share shelter with frogs. My poor child must share shelter with tortoises. My poor child must share shelter with hyenas. My poor child must share shelter with ogres. How is that supposed to be done?
It's probably like translated from Romanian or something, where it probably sounded a lot better.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. Her daughter waited and made sure that it was her mother singing before singing back thus, oh mother, I have started to develop breasts." She then rolled back the stone, and her mother handed her the prescribed herbs and food and left. The procedure went on for days, with the woman feeling happy to learn that her daughter was developing breasts. But one day, a hyena that had been hiding in the bush nearby and watching mother and daughter decided to go and attack the girl. He practiced singing the song he had heard with the girl's mother sing to her daughter before setting off to the cave where the girl was hidden. When he arrived at the mouth of the cave, he tried to sing as the mother had done, but only managed to howl in a maniacal way. The girl knew that hyenas lived nearby, as she had heard their strange laughter during the night. She therefore refused to roll back the rock. Meanwhile, the hyena went back home and visited a witch doctor to find out how he could make himself sound more like a human being. You must not eat any insects on the way to the cave. Avoid any temptation to eat anything on the day that you visit the cave. This will ensure that your voice is smooth. Hyena followed the witch doctor's advice and went without food on his next visit. When he arrived at the cave and sang the song, the girl mistook him for her mother and rolled back the stone. Without wasting time, the hyena killed her and shared her carcass with other hyenas. The following day, the mother of the girl came and found human bones scattered all over the ground outside the cave. She immediately knew what had happened to her daughter. At the mouth of the cave, she found the rock rolled away and her daughter missing. Heavy with grief, she collected her daughter's bones and took them home with her. That night, the woman did not sleep. The following day, she woke up early and made the journey that she had made to the witch doctor with her daughter, but this time on her own, with only the bones of her dead daughter. She found the witch doctor at home and explained the reason for her visit. "Sit down, my daughter," the witch doctor calmly said, ignoring the woman's obvious state of distress. The woman sat down and painfully started to relate her story to the witch doctor. "I have brought the bones of my child to you because they are of no use to me. Yesterday, I had a healthy child. Now, I have nothing." "Go back home," the witch doctor said, with a finality in his voice that the woman could not ignore, "and come back here tomorrow before sunrise. Leave the bones with me." The woman did as she was told and went back before the break of the following day. She carefully weaved her way in the dark on a winding, narrow, dewy path. When she arrived at the witch doctor's house, she found him seated in the same place that she had left him. Again, like the day before, he asked her to sit down, and after some uncomfortable silence, the witch doctor stood up and disappeared into the back room. "I will be back after my work is done," he said, and left. The woman found herself alone in the dark room. A period of complete silence followed. The woman started to fear that the witch doctor might have run away, but at dawn, as it started to become light, the witch doctor suddenly reappeared, and with him, the woman's daughter. The woman could not believe her eyes. As she rushed to hug her daughter, she realized that she had not developed any breast. "Your daughter is alive," the witch doctor spoke for the first time. The woman did not ask any questions. She was grateful that she had got her daughter back. The problem of developing breasts seemed so small now that she did not think of it as a problem anymore. As for her daughter, she was just happy to be alive. Together they thanked the witch doctor for having helped them see things differently and left. What the?
Ma'am, you have small tits. Man, at least you're not dead. That sounds like an old German.
Yeah. Where are hyenas located? Africa?
Yeah.
It's an African tale.
Witch doctor, hyena, yeah, okay.
It's an African tale.
Yeah.
Florence Adongo Bull. It's, yeah. Yeah. Alright.
I don't expect German fables to be that dark.
Was it dark? I mean, someone got eaten, but they came back. I thought it'd be way darker, to be honest. Once they were eaten, I was like, and then she's gonna become a demon in the end. Or some nonsense. He's gonna bring her back as, like, some zombie or, like, soulless creature with boobs. And I was like, what on earth is this? What on earth? Behind the white brick. What is this one? Hold on. Let me take a look. How long are we running? How long is the recording? It's only 30 minutes, so that would actually be, a pretty simple video.
one.
It's 12 o'clock. I hate when I'm tired, so I do something like laid back, and then I'm no longer tired. What was I gonna check? I was gonna check something. Hold on. I was gonna check something for Destiny. Let me check something for Destiny really quick. Because I always get super distracted. It's
Alright,
likes.
I'm gonna go.
Nothing
fucking
important.
See what Zero has on offer.
Yeah, the clothes are really like the best part. Because he always brings old clothes that you can't get anymore. Alright, I think I'll call that for the little short stream. Really just like live recording of a reading. Which I think is fine. Both of us are really tired. You might have noticed from my voice that I'm like... I laughed a lot and I ate a lot and I did something that I don't recommend any of you dreamers under 21 should be doing. But yeah. So... we're gonna call it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the very interesting story. Moral of the story, if you don't grow tits, it's okay, you're still pretty. And you really shouldn't be too worried about what people think of your body.
Yeah.
So, take it from this little nerd in the corner.
Yeah, I've got tiny titties, but I'm still pretty.
Anyway, you guys have a great night. Good night, good night. Say goodbye, Chloe. Say good night.
Bye, Chad.